Hey everybody, well, guess what? Stephen Donziger lost again. You would say, who? Stephen Donziger is a famous attorney that is best known for suing Chevron for allegations that Chevron polluted in the Amazon. Well, they didn't, and he lost once again. He's racking up a lot of losses. He lost because the Canadian Supreme Court, in a one-sentence decision, said, essentially, Mr. Donziger, there's no case here. We agree with the Ontario Court of Appeals, which also said that you have no case in trying to make Chevron pay $9.5 billion that Ecuador says should be paid, but only says that because you were the one who actually wrote the decision for Ecuador, which is illegal. Hello? Hello? You can't do that, okay? That's not seeming to hit home with Donziger and his folks, because they keep pursuing this thing around the globe. They've got one fraudulent judgment, and they keep marching that thing in the courts around the world, and they keep having the doors slammed on them. This is the latest example. Now, for those of you saying, well, wait, how did all this happen? Let me take you back to 1969. 1969 was a consortium called TexPet. That's right. You say, what's TexPet? It's Texaco and PetroEcuador. PetroEcuador, obviously that name because it was Ecuador producing oil. Basically, it was import replacement. That is, hey, we're going to show you how to produce your own oil. We're Texaco, and that's what we're coming in to do. And you're going to learn that from us, Ecuador, so you can have another type of economic activity to use to build up your gross domestic product. That was the idea. Now, by the early 70s, actually the late 70s and through the 80s, Ecuador took more control of the consortium to a point that by 1989, it owned approximately 72% of the consortium. And by the time Texaco bowed out in 1992, Texaco was all but out of the partnership. It was ran, and what I mean by that, the fields that were once owned and operated by Texaco by the government of Ecuador through PetroEcuador. However, when Texaco was sold, it was bought by Chevron, and that deal was consummated in 2005. Prior to that, a little-known plaintiff lawyer named Steve Donziger filed a lawsuit in 1995 saying, hey, these Texaco people, they didn't clean up the environment like they should have, and when they left, now Texaco later said in 1998, they said, no, we got this contract to spend $40 million to clean up the environment. We did that, and the government of Ecuador signed off that we did it, okay? So, but that wasn't enough for Donziger. He bribed judges, intimidated judges, and this is all by his own admission. I'm not saying this. These were outtakes from a movie called Crude. This is Donziger talking, all right? He's, hey, you can do anything down here. You can get away with it. It's almost like President Trump when he said, I can stand in the middle of the street and I can shoot a gun and nobody can stop me, or words to that effect. Well, Stephen Donziger sort of kind of made that kind of comment in a car, all right? Just sort of running his mouth as the cameras were going. But he said it in a legal way, in a judicial way. In other words, he says, hey, look, you can do things here that you can't do in America. One of them is you can intimidate and bribe judges, all right? He says this, and he did it. He paid people to intimidate the judges to achieve a court outcome. On top of that, he cozied up to Rafael Correa, who was then the president, and so never, ever did anything to make Rafael Correa look bad, including saying, hey, by the way, PetroEcuador is polluting the environment. Hello? Never did anything like that. So it should come as no surprise that as Donziger had gathered up lawyers and gathered up consultants, environmental consultants, but then paid those consultants to lie, and lie they did, and they admitted they lied later in court. As he was doing that, all the way up to what was originally a $19 billion judgment against Chevron in 2011, That same year, PetroEcuador was responsible for one of the largest oil spills in history, 11,000 barrels. And yet, when it was turned, when one would turn to PetroEcuador and say, hey, who's responsible for this? PetroEcuador didn't say they were. They pointed at Chevron, in spite of the fact that Chevron, get this straight, was never involved in Ecuador. Chevron never produced oil in Ecuador. I repeat, Chevron never produced oil in Ecuador. All right? Boom. Okay? All right? But see, Donziger had his card that he was going to play. He was playing it around the world. He tried to play it in America, and he got stopped by Judge Lewis Lapham in New York North District Court. Basically found him guilty of RICO, Racketeer Influence, Corrupt Organization Act violation. That's right. That's right. Meaning he was setting up an illegal operation to achieve billions of dollars from an American oil company. That's what he was accused of doing. And that's what he has been accused of doing, okay? He filed on appeal. He's tried to fight this. And at the same time, because he's had over $15, $20 million, perhaps more, in litigation financing from different companies. I think some of it he had to pay back because after the fraud case, it went against him. But the majority of it he kept. He's still been marching around the world trying to find a country that would be friendly to his attempt to recover these ill-gotten gains. Well, I shouldn't say ill-gotten gains because he really didn't get anything. Let's just call them ghost ill-gotten gains, okay? Because in his mind that he's owed that. Talking about Donziger. So this time, once again, the door was shut on him. Boom. One sentence. Hey, man, you can't do that. Do you know, through all of this, PetroEcuador has literally gotten away with murder? I don't mean they've killed anybody, but I mean in terms of just having substandard oil production operations, safety issues, oil spills. And then when Rafael Correa was president, he said, I care about the environment. I've got this 4 million acre Yasimi region park. And guess what? I'm not going to let anybody drill there unless they pay me. That's right. That's right. For a price. His argument, wait a minute. It's got some value there. I'm not making this up, folks. Did Amazon Watch attack him? No, not at all. You know, with respect to Rafael Correa, as long as he was leftist, it was okay. Serious. It was like see no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil. Wow. Anyway, what's Donziger's next move? He says Chevron USA trial starts soon. When? And he expects to win. Wow. Stay tuned. Please subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube. We'll see you.